looking at the origins, we really only have a few good options here. They're all better than the initial start, but most of them are better than the initial start. But I found a few of them are far better than others. Um, Initially, we have Calamitous Birth. That one's kind of, I would say it's a little better than the initial start. You get better ships, but you wreck your systems that you colonize. The animations suck, which is really annoying. Put it somewhere between D. It's on the border of E though, I think, because it makes your systems worse when you board them, and you kind of have to be lithoids, which forces another playstyle. Although you do get bonus minerals, so that's useful. Common ground, I'd say that's C. It's okay. It's milling tier. Um, you get a good start with good entrances. Doomsday, E. You lose your homeworld, you get bonuses, but that's not useful. And homeworld habitability isn't crazy useful, although it can be nice. Uh, Having to losing all of your initial pops unless you really force resettlement, which is a pain in itself. It's not fun. Uh, Funnily enough, this is a start that the AI can get, so it's interesting to see them lose all their pops in the beginning of the game. But Galactic Doorstep, I'd say that's another D tier. It's a little better than the initial start, you know, what it used to be. We used to have the default start, so I'm going to be comparing all these two as the default start. Um, it's a little better than that, but it's still not quite not quite useful enough. You still need to repair the Galactic Doorstep. You're going to have a higher chance to get that Galactic Tech, but overall it doesn't help you a lot as much as the other ones. It doesn't help you as much as Common Ground. You know. So D I think is like middling tier. This is just a little bit better than the average start, or very similar to it. Uh, E is definitely the worst. Hegemons, we're gonna have to put them in A tier. They're really overpowered. Especially if you have early aggression, certain playstyles you can really abuse it and become very strong very quickly. Um, Such as kicking them out of your federation and attacking them and taking over their starts by using the other one to help out. You can also abuse it in general. Lost colony, average start. It actually can often be worse because if you're playing it in a game with no advanced empires, this will actually force an advanced empire to spawn. So there's gonna be an advanced start no matter what, which is really bad, especially when you have the Galactic Council and all that to deal with. You're gonna have a much smaller say compared to them, who are generally they're gonna have a much larger military than you, much better tech, all that. Lost Colony, I'd say, is D or E tier. It doesn't really help you at all, other than having that parent civ, basically. Life Seeded, I put this in D tier. You do get a Gaia world, which is pretty nice. The only issue is that you have rather huge penalties to colonizing other worlds, which makes expanding really hard, which is a problem for a lot of these starts, or which is a main problem for the start, which is why I ranked it so low. Mechanist, um, so that's another, it's a C tier. It's nothing, you get robot pops, you get robot tech. It's really useful. It's better than the average start. Nothing wrong with it. Shoulder Giants, say D. It's a little bit better than the average start, but not enough to, you know, really strive for it. You get a archaeological dig site, not a huge deal. Um, Not a lot useful. It's very similar to Galactic Doorstep, where you have this thing that's can be useful later in the game, not really useful early on, doesn't give you a step up in the competition. Post-apocalyptic, post-apocalyptic. It's gotta be C. Yep, really good bonuses. It's really nice. Good in general. You don't have the tech bonuses Mechanist, but you do, a lot of good things about it. Prosperous Unification, just a little bit better than the average start. You can start with more pops, all that. It's like the old average, it's like the old default start, but just a little bit better. Remnants. So they're in the C tier. They're a little bit better than the rest, but not quite as good as some. Definitely B tier, you get a really nice tech start. Very useful. Scion's gonna be A tier as well. Having a Scion, having basically you have no early threats in the early game because no one's going to attack you because you're a vassal of a fallen empire. So you basically can maintain no army and just boom tech if you want and finish the game early. It's really easy. You still can have a seat at the Galactic Council. It's easily one of the better starts. I would say one of the top 3 starts. Shattered Ring is S tier, easily. It's the best start by far. The main reason is because you can boom out of control like crazy. You just need to use you need to micro your pops a little bit in order to better utilize the transition when you start adding a tech ring, for example. But you're going to have a ton of extra food early game, which you can sell to fund everything else you need. Then you're going to have a ton of extra tech when you do the tech switch transition, and you'll out-tech everything, even in the hardest difficulty. The game becomes the easiest thing. It's impossible to lose with Shattered Ring, I think, in my opinion, unless you're a very. It's the easiest start by far. We win the game if you pick Shattered Ring. It's simply that. Pick Shattered Ring and then you go tech start and you can't lose. It should be banned in most multiplayer games. It's completely broken. Completely broken. Um, but it's fun to play because you win the game automatically, basically. The only issue is early aggression. But if you can, it's like any tech boom. If you can fend off early aggression, you'll win the game. So I recommend like a Xenophile materialist because everyone's gonna like you. You can play diplomacy a bit, try to get into Federation early, and then reap the rewards. Syncretic Evolution, it's good. It's like you get the benefits of having a gene modification setup. It's really good for a gene transition. It's really good in general. You have those separate pops. You don't have to deal with all the positive trait issues that you have if you create like an intelligence boom. So you get that kind of if you're microing a lot, this is probably the start for you. Although you have to micro for a bit for the Shattered Ring, it's not nearly as intensive as Syncretic will be. Void Dwellers, I like it a lot. It's a very unique playstyle. I really enjoy it. Um, I really like the start. The only issue is that it's gonna cost more. You want to get a migration treaty early so you can colonize other worlds, because otherwise, because your main populace will not be able to. But if you get a migration treaty early, it's probably going to be somewhere in A tier. The only issue is you need that migration treaty, so probably force you to roll like a xenophile, or you can't be a xenophobe obviously, and all that stuff. So Tree of Life, it's okay. Gives you benefits. Doesn't hurt you in any way. The only way is if you lose your home system, which if you lost your home system, you're probably screwed anyway. I would say it's a C tier. Gives you really good benefits, better benefits than Life Seeded, and it doesn't restrict you the same way. The only restriction is you can't lose your homeworld, which again you shouldn't ever lose. Yeah, that's my tier list.